Okay. I don't know if there's anyone in the chat, but we are going to be recording slightly out of order here. I'll explain when we start, but I don't think there's anyone. There's one viewer. It's probably Will, but sometimes it doesn't always say. Sometimes it doesn't always say like.
It has 3 names listed, but it only says 1.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to What We Played. So this, for those both in the stream, and I probably explained this at some point during the episode, but once a month Val is going to come on and talk about her games that she played through our video series Rookie Camp.
Yeah,
and
at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
Completed the month.
I guess there was more games this time because she just thought of that, so we figured we would cover all the games she's played so far.
Yep. It's only 5.
Yeah. So we're recording out of order only because we don't know when we're going to be at what we played. So she's got stuff she's got to do. So I didn't want her to have to just sit there and wait for me to text her. So we're going to record that first. If you're going to listen to the episode normally, like on as a podcast, it will be during I'll plug it in during the What We Played segment. So,
right. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, this is just normal.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just in its normal spot.
Yeah, it is in its normal spot.
Hopefully.
So, why don't you go ahead and get started? What do you got for us?
Okay, so we did 5 rookie camps since we started, and I played Breath of the Wild, Stardew Valley, Firewatch, Celeste, and Final Fantasy 3, or otherwise known as
Final Fantasy 6.
But I'm going to call it 3.
Yeah, 3 is the American one. That's what it was on the SNES Classic.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
So what I thought I'd do is I think instead of recapping the games, because, a lot of people have played those games, or maybe you watched Rookie Camp, hopefully you watched Rookie Camp, you kind of might have an idea of what the games are. But what I thought I would do is, figuring that I only play this for like an hour and 20 minutes at the most, I just wanted to kind of give an idea of the game I'm most likely to play again, the game I'm least likely to play again, and then my overall best experience in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can I wager guesses before you start?
Ooh, I like that. Did you see my list over here?
No.
I would like to see your guesses too.
Okay.
That's a great idea. I love it.
So the one that I think you'll go back to would be Firewatch, and the one that you won't will be Final Fantasy.
Okay. What do you think my best experience was?
Oh man, maybe Celeste.
Okay. All right. What are you going, Dan? Most likely to play again?
Most likely to play again would probably be, I'm going to say Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Only because of its importance to our household.
Sure.
Especially at this point.
Yep.
Least likely to go back to, I'm going to say Firewatch.
Okay.
Best overall experience, I would say Celeste.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So I'll start then. So the game I am most likely to play again, and I just based this on like how I was feeling like every day. Like I thought about it kind of every day to get to this point. Most likely to play again, like if I was to walk in right now and say I'm going to play a video game that I've played, it would be Celeste.
Okay.
And I just can't put my finger on it. There is something about the game. Like the next day I downloaded the soundtrack and was listening to it. I don't know if it's the struggle and then you get it, and it's like, I think because I thrive off of like rewards, I guess, and I kind of realized that about myself, I think. So Celeste was definitely the one that if I walked in right now, I would say to you, I'm going to play that again right now.
Nice.
Yeah, my runner-up for that, though, because this was so hard for me, was actually Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Because it is such a big part of our family right now.
Yeah.
That I want to be able to have a conversation about Bavaruda or whoever, everyone that they keep.
Divine
Rivali's
Beast
Gale.
Baruda.
Yeah, like Rivali's Gale. Like, I just want to have that understanding. Mm-hmm. So that was a really close second for me. But I struggle with that kind of game because you have to compartmentalize, and like anything with an inventory, I'm like, no, I don't want to play that game. Because I don't know what it is. I'm sure I could handle it, So yeah. I think Breath of the Wild would be my next. So my least likely to play again, and I think you kind of had a clue because I was talking to you about this, was Firewatch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch that rookie camp, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and I don't think you would have been able to tell in the rookie camp.
Okay.
So the thing with Firewatch is I thought it was an awesome game. Like, the game itself was fantastic. I loved the environment. I loved the sounds. I loved everything about it. But the story took me so far in, and it reminded me of Life is Strange, that I had anxiety. Because I knew as soon as that creepy guy was looking, and then the house, the thing got broken into, I was like, this story has too much anxiety riddled in it. Like, I knew something bad was coming. I actually literally we finished rookie camp and I ran off while Dan was editing the video, and I had to look and see what was going to happen at the end.
That's why
I knew it was something bad.
That's why I figured you weren't going to play it.
Right, because I already know the
because you
end.
knew what was going to happen.
Yes, but that is not taking away.
All right.
Yeah, that is not taking away anything from that game, because it was a fantastic game, and I think if it didn't have that anxiety or that feeling of realness for me, just like Life is Strange, which is why I couldn't finish Life is Strange either. If it didn't have that, it would have been, a contender for most likely to play again. So it was funny that you said that, because it was a fantastic game, just not.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Firewatch though is none of that stuff really pans out all that much.
Okay.
It's kind of, there's that threat, but it never really materializes into anything super interesting, which is one of the things I find super interesting about that game. Is a lot, a lot of times that's how life is. You get anxious about certain things, and it turns out you were anxious about something for no reason.
Right.
It just ended up being nothing. So
right.
That's kind of the takeaway I got from that game.
Yeah.
Which was cool for me.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm not taking away from the game at all. I think it was fantastic, and helped me. It's going to be interesting if you throw a scary game at me, which I hope you do. But
yes, we
I
will
might
at
be
some point.
Freaking out. Who knows? Who knows what I'll be doing? But my close second for that though was Final Fantasy 3. I'm so sorry because I know that's your favorite, but it's just not my genre.
Yeah.
But honestly,
that's a tough one.
Yeah, but I have to say it grew on me, and it was kind of like, oh, I'm battling, and oh, I'm battling, but it was a little too much of the battling, I think, maybe, for me, and it's an older game, but it was still it was still good. It just isn't my thing. Okay, so my last one is best experience overall. Celeste. It's Celeste. I am shocked. I was like, how can I say Celeste? You compare that next to Breath of the Wild, and how can you say Celeste? But it is every single thing about that game.
Part of it too is platformers are your game. That's your game style. So.
Yeah, exactly, and that's very true. But it was very. I think I liked. I had never played a video game where I was challenged to be like, okay, I've got to go over here and do this and do that, and to get my hands to move that fast. I was like, hey, I kind of, I got to a point where I was like, I think I could do this game. And having watched you played that and Super Meat Boy, and just knowing how hard those are, I'm like, I don't know. It was just exciting to see myself be successful, I guess. So definitely best experience for that. I actually had two close runners up though, because Breath of the Wild obviously was a good experience because I was finally living the world that my kids are playing in a lot, and they acted out in their normal play when they're not playing the game. They're Link and Zelda together, so that was really good. And Stardew Valley, because that was just chill. That was just chill. Stardew Valley is fantastic. I think my only reservation was I felt like it was too open. And again, that's who I am as a person. I don't want an assignment in school that's do whatever you want. I want someone to tell me what to do, now. So
yeah, so the game kind of just lets you do whatever you want and kind of explore on your own and figure things out. So that can be tough for people who aren't used to it. You know,
you could even technically do nothing if you wanted.
Right. I could bust up some rocks and that could be my day. Yeah. So I think that openness is why I couldn't say it was my best experience, just because openness is not my thing. I want directions and tell me where to go. I will say,
though, Val, the game is a lot less daunting once you play it, because while it kind of feels very, I shouldn't say it kind of closes off at any point, but you'll realize that the openness to it, it's not that scary. You know what I'm trying to say, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like you just figure out it's part of the game and that's what you do.
Yeah, like the things that you do, like you farm, you go to the mines, like stuff like that. Like a lot of that you can fish. Like a lot of that is just like
Fishing. Yeah.
It's just like repetition, and
Yeah.
once you figure out kind of like the rhythm of your day, like the openness of it is a lot less frightening.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's like you find a routine, like a pattern or a rhythm.
Yep.
Like a rhythm. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. But it was so chill, and I loved fishing, even though I was terrible at it. Like
it's kind of hard, right?
It was really hard. Like I started to get it a little bit, but there was just no hope. So
I'm pretty bad at it. So.
Yeah.
It's much easier on the Switch than it was when I played for the first time on PC, because you don't have the vibration feedback.
No, yeah.
Jeez, I can't imagine doing it without that.
I was just clicking the mouse for the to reel in the fish. And
yeah,
it's way harder.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, but overall, like it's been really fun to do Rookie Camp, and I really am glad that I'm doing it and. Like it's nice because it gives us a little time together and like something to do that's kind of our own thing, and but it's really fun to finally get a chance to play, like have a reason to play these games that are important to the gaming world, so I hope everyone checks it out if you haven't given it a try. Like it's I would recommend Celeste if you want to see a lot of dumb faces from me, because I was like like freaking out. So but yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, I think that's
all right. Thanks
it up.
Thanks for joining us.
Val.
Absolutely. Happy podcasting.
Thanks. Me and Will are going to continue momentarily with the rest of our what we played. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Val.
Bye. Time for bed. Not for me.
Good luck. Dan,
Yes.
are you gonna have her play Hollow Knight?
Probably.
I'd be curious because that's platforming,
Yeah.
but it's also combat. So I'd be curious to know what she thinks of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's pretty much anything really is on the table, Okay.
Dookie Literature Club. Oh man.
Doki doki. Alright. Just compress this. And then we can get started.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, I guess I can play this. Okay, you ready to start, Will?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, didn't start it. Hang on.
You're good.
5, 4. No. Guess again. Okay. Now I'm ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to episode 371 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Will.
Just us today. We were supposed to be joined by Eric, better known as Reefer, but he came down with an illness for this week's episode, so he won't be joining us this time. So we'll have him on again at a different time. Our topic for today is going to be our 2018 fall games preview. It's that time of the year again. We may even be doing this later than we usually do. I know it's right around when Madden usually comes out, so
Yeah.
So here we are, starting with September. Will, do you have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode?
I'll briefly talk about Dragon Ball Fighters. I had a very interesting event happen last night that I'll talk about.
Nice.
What else game related? Really, honestly, not much. I'm going through this phase right now with games where I'm playing the things that I don't have to dedicate a lot of time to. So I'll play a couple rounds of Fighters, and then that'll be that. So that's kind of what I've been playing. I did do another chapter 4 of Octopath, but I don't think you did that character, so I probably won't talk too much about that.
Yeah, I haven't done any chapter 4s in Octopath.
Okay.
I did play a little Octopath Traveler. I'm still working on the side missions. I played a little bit more Reigns, but I think the thing I'll talk about is I watched the entire 48-minute Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay demo.
Yeah, I watched that too, and I forgot to actually talk about it with you the other day when you were here. So.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that because that looked awesome, and I can't wait for it. So we'll talk a little bit more about it. Probably during our weeks, I would think, since it's not technically something we played.
Yeah.
So
I'm for that.
Okay. Will, you want to get us started with September?
Yeah, so Dan, I don't know how you felt, but kind of looking through a lot of the games, do you feel like it's a later fall?
I do. I think game releases are starting to move out of just the fall and into the early next year too. Like normally all these games would be clumped like right before Christmas. But I think they're starting to learn that it's okay to move it out into next year and not be clustered together with a bunch of other games as much. So yeah, I definitely think it was a later, at least as far as AAAs go.
Definitely. Most of my September is sports games, and I'm gonna mention them, but I probably won't even really talk too much about them.
Yeah, there's no.
So yeah, well, starting off, September 7th is Spider-Man. This is the highly anticipated game from Insomniac, being published by Sony. This game looks awesome. It's a shame I won't be able to get to play it because I just sold my PlayStation. So this game looks awesome. It's an open world. It's reminiscent to Batman. You know, you're the combat system where you kind of just hand-to-hand combat, beat the crap out of people, use your spider webs, take people out. You fight all of the famous villains across the Spider-Man world. I'm not huge into superheroes, so I'm honestly not very familiar with any of them, but I will say I think Spider-Man's cool, and I think this game looks awesome. It looks like this would be Game of the Year contender for me.
Yeah. I had absolutely zero interest in this game.
Really?
Because of my superhero fatigue. I can't do anything superheroes anymore. I'm just instantly turned off by anything. We're so saturated with it. It's like zombies a few years ago. It's just too much. So go ahead.
You know what? Well, I actually completely agree with you. The only superhero I was kind of interested in within the last couple of years was the Deadpool movies, because that's kind of like poking fun at a lot of the tropes we see kind of in superhero movies, and it's a little bit more fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not trying too hard to be funny. I think it's the perfect balance of a superhero movie. But so that's Spider-Man. Really looking forward to it. Like I said, it's a shame I won't be able to play it. Maybe by the end of the year I can get a hold of another PlayStation to do it, but that's not looking likely. But sharing the same day is NBA Live 19. Really not much to say about NBA Live. Moving on to September 11th, NBA 2K19. Once again, not a whole lot to share. One thing I was interested...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say there's an interesting tidbit with that, and it's going to have a football mini game. So people wondered if that's their way of teasing that they're coming out with a football game.
So there is, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if they will be, they're working on one for next year.
I hope so, because the last really good football game was an NFL 2K5, I thought.
Yep. That was when it's actually surprising to me that Madden has pretty much the sole possession of football. You'd think somebody else would try to do another football game by now, but
yeah, it all has to do with licensing. I think Madden is the exclusive.
rights holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why bother if you can't get the licenses for the teams?
Yep.
Another interesting thing from music heads out there, Travis Scott curated the soundtrack for it. He's a rapper. Interestingly enough, I looked through the soundtrack and he just put out an album and none of his new songs are on there, so I don't know. No, I have no idea why that is. But
conflict of interest.
I'm wondering if he just did it so long ago, or he just wanted people to buy the album or stream it, as opposed to, I don't know. He makes way more money than me, so I'll leave that to him.
Mm-hmm.
September 14th, we got NHL 19. I wanted to get this, but I'm so poor that I won't be able to. It's probably for the better. With a lot of these NHL games, same stuff, better deking. Bigger, better hits, more realistic skating.
The only reason I might be interested in this game is because PK Subban is on the cover. That would be the only reason I would buy it if I had a system to play it on.
That's true. You don't have a system, so you can't really even play it. So yeah, moving on to the actual release of that day, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
This game has a very interesting premise, and I'm going to read it here for you. The story takes place 2 months after the events of the Rise of the Tomb Raider. The protagonist, Lara Croft, is an archaeologist on an expedition to Latin America looking for a Mayan relic which has connection to her late father. Trinity, a paramilitary organization dedicated to investigating the supernatural, seek the relic to reshape the world. During the expedition, Laura sets off of a Mayan apocalypse as she attempts to save the world. It's kind of cool, like, watching the gameplay for this game. This game's violent, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these Lara Croft games, and, like, playing the first one, the reboot of the series, like, that was violent. Rise of the Tomb Raider was pretty brutal, and this one just looks a little bit past that. It's darker. It looks a little bit more edgier, I guess is the
gritty.
Gritty is the way to put it. It's beautiful landscapes. Like, I was watching gameplay trailers of it. Oh my god, like, I would be interested in the budget for this game.
Yeah, I am gonna get this game. It's a must buy for me. I love Tomb Raider. I love Rise of the Tomb Raider. So this is probably the one game, at least early on in the fall game schedule, fall game releases that I am gonna get. So it's right after my birthday too, so it'll probably be like a birthday present to myself.
So Steam?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the only way I have to play it. So yeah, you guys will have access to it. On PC.
Usually I'm the one supplying the games for the fall, but this is the year that I'm trying to find ways to play everything.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that. Like, I don't have a lot of extra money currently either, so I'm kind of the same way. I've kind of trimmed my games that I'm going to buy, to just a few, probably.
Yeah, I should say for people who might care, the only games that I'm 100% getting is Spyro Reignited, and Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
From there, like Fallout 76 and another game, Valkyria Chronicles 4, have an outside chance of being games that I might get. Before we talk about Valkyria Chronicles, September 18th, Undertale gets a console release date, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're one of the people who hasn't played it yet, here's your opportunity. Definitely worth it. Corey hated the game, but we loved it.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
I hope he hears that.
He'll text us tomorrow about it.
Was that last Thummies or the Thummies before where we fought over Undertale?
I think it was the one before, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Where Corey said it was an incredible game, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
What's his argument?
Yep.
September 25th, Valkyria Chronicles 4. This game, interestingly enough, is already launched out in Japan. It came out March 21st. I don't know too awful much about the plot of this because from the reviews that I saw from Japan, it's kind of like the first one that we saw. It's kind of a soft reboot. It kind of feels like. But basically, it takes place on the continent of Europa, where the Second European War is fought. This is like loosely based off the World Wars, so World War II, is kind of what these games are based off of. But the Atlantic Federation and the Eastern Imperial Alliance fight in a last-ditch effort to end the war and capture the Imperial capital. The Federation execute Operation Northcross. As part of it, Commander Claude Wallace and his friends in Squad E are sent to fight the Imperial soldiers and the Valkyrie. So it kind of seems like you're on the losing side, and your squad is pretty much solely the reason to end the war. So. It seems interesting. The art style got me because it's cel shaded and really cool, but it also takes place in snow. So, right then and there, I am interested. I think this is a game I'm gonna get for the Switch 100% because this seems like the perfect Switch game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be a buy for me. It's just probably not right away. But I will definitely get it because I love the first one. Outside of a handful of issues I had with it, it's really good.
Yeah, for those who don't know, because Valkyria Chronicles is kind of the franchise that more underrated in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a tactical role-playing game, and what it is you're kind of on a battlefield, and you control your army. It can be anywhere from 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. I don't know, it varies depending on the battle, but you can run them around, and you have a certain amount of stamina that you can travel, and like the faster characters have more stamina, so on and so forth. But you go into an area and you can shoot and you fire, and like that's how it works. You have special abilities, but if you can only do a certain amount of actions per turn, stuff like that. It's a really cool game. Huge fan of the first one, even though I never finished it. I wish I did, but so that's Valkyria Chronicles.
The first one, I believe, is on the Switch now. If it's
is
not,
it really?
Yeah, if it's not now, it's going to be soon. But the first one is coming to Switch, I think. You know what? I'm gonna look real quick while you continue.
Oh man,
I want to confirm that.
So that might be another buy for me. So yeah, moving on. September 27th, Life is Strange episode. I put 2, but I don't think that's right. Okay, it's episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1. We talked about it a little bit. I think maybe it was last week, but the gist of it is you play as an older brother, and your younger brother is with you. A cop ends up dying, and you and your brother try to flee the state. I think you try to go to Mexico, I want to say. That's kind of the gist of the game. You're on the run, and you got to be kind of like a father figure to your little brother. And Dan, you said that the brother has the special power.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the gist of the game. Really excited. I think you go through Acadia Bay at some point, so that's going to be a nice little homage to the first game. Really excited for this one. I think Captain Spirit is supposedly making an appearance of some sort in this one too, so for people who have played that, you'll get to see that. I still need to play that. I'm actually surprised I haven't yet, but
yeah, so normally I would wait to get all the episodes before I play through that, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'll probably end up getting this one and playing the episodes as they come out, I think.
You know what we should do, Dan? For this, we should split the cost of it.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Because I think it would be smart if we just got this on Steam, and then you and I kind of split it.
Yeah, that's fine. Corey may even want to go in on it too.
Yeah, we'll ask him. I think it's like $30 maybe.
Yeah,
I want to say, so that's not bad at all.
Because if you play through 2 episodes, an episode's like 2-3 hours. Like it's not a game where one of us is going to tie up for a very long time.
No, I mean honestly, we'll just play it once and then that'll be that. It's not going to be something that we just kind of continue repeating, because you can only repeat it a certain amount of times, really, in my opinion. Any word on the Valkyria Chronicles, Dan?
Yeah, I didn't see it in the eShop. But I know I read somewhere that it's coming to the Switch. Maybe maybe I'll do a search for it while you're continuing on.
So September 28th, you got FIFA 19. Once again, don't really care. I guess Pro Evo is the soccer game to get. I guess they're doing a really good job with that one, as opposed to FIFA, where FIFA's kind of the same game, just getting repeated and just, I don't know. As I said, most of this month consisted of sports games, so that's why it's been very, very boring. But last but not least, for September 28th, Dragon Ball FighterZ for the Switch. I'll talk about this game a little bit later, but I love it, and I'm really happy that this is getting a Switch port. I won't get it immediately, but I might get it when it's cheaper, $30, $40, or $30, $20 probably.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe this comes with all of the DLC. I even want to say that this will come out right when the last bit of DLC for Season 1 comes out, so it might all be bundled together. And from what I've heard, Cooler was announced for those who are Dragon Ball fans. He is a movie villain, Frieza's brother, so he's in that. And also, according to the leaks, Android 17 is going to be in there, and he's my favorite Dragon Ball character, so I'm really excited. I'm going to be picking that up.
Nice.
Definitely. But that's a Switch port. That game's awesome, so... That's it for September for me. There's other stuff, but I wasn't all that interested. The World Ends With You final remix for the Switch. I know people are fans of that. Gone Home's coming to the Switch. That's one of my favorite games ever. That's actually not too far from now. Hyper Light Drifter also. I forgot to mention that it's coming the 6th, I do believe. I think it'll be $15, so. That's in my price range.
Yeah, that's also fully 60 frames per second, both handheld and docked, which is a very important distinction because that game was much better. As good as it was when it originally came out on PC, it was much better after they did the 60 frames per second update. It made it easier. It made it look nicer. But yeah, they got that version working fully on the Nintendo Switch, so that's awesome.
The two indie games that I put off playing because I was waiting for the Switch port were Hollow Knight and Hyper Light Drifter. So I'm so pumped that Hyper Light Drifter is coming in soon. So
it's quite good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. That game looks awesome. There's Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC too coming out the 21st. People are interested in that, but other than that, nothing really too crazy that I'm seeing. So if I missed something, I'm sorry.
Nope. Valkyria Chronicles the original digital version will release alongside Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Oh, okay, perfect.
It is coming out on the Switch. So I was not wrong, luckily.
That gives me a reason to go back, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, did you get stuff from Eric for October? Did you say he sent you stuff?
Yes, so he did. I'm grabbing it real quick.
Okay.
Divinity Original Sin Definitive Edition is out tomorrow as a free update. He has stuff from August and October. He's got Mario Party. He said he's super stoked for that, plus Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think Mario Party is going to be one we probably get to play as a family,
Well, yeah, that seems like the perfect game. Is there online multiplayer to this too?
I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like I saw someone complaining about that on the Nintendo Switch subreddit. But you know what? Let me call up my Chromebook. I'll get the details on it real quick. But yeah, I want to say that there's no online multiplayer for that.
That's an interesting move in my opinion, because I feel like the longevity of this game will greatly benefit from that. I mean, I do understand that the Mario Party concept is to have people in a room together, but I just feel like it wouldn't be too difficult to
implement something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Forza Horizon 4 is another one that's coming out. Takes place.
That's one I really want too.
I actually forgot this one's coming out, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I might get it a little bit later. But it takes place in London. Really cool things. Day-night cycle seasons are in this too. I think that's awesome because it'll be really cool to be driving in the winter, then go into spring, and then seeing the fall. A big fan of that. That's a really cool feature. The Forza Horizon games are the only racing game that I'll ever get because they're so well done. And as somebody who is not a car person at all, it makes me care a little bit about cars. It's really, really solid game. Would you argue, Dan, that it's one of Microsoft's best franchises at this point?
I think so. It's the one I'm most interested in. I did like Gears. I've liked Halo in the past. I haven't played one recently. But definitely, the Forza Horizon, was it 3?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Was amazing. I love that game. So yeah, it's probably their best. So it's good that developer is working on the new Fable.
Oh man, so that they need to announce that. That's gonna be pretty cool. Also that same day, October 2nd, you got Mega Man 11. I'm really not too sure about this, like what's in it or anything, but you got a new Mega Man coming out.
Real quick on Mario Party. So there is going to be online play for the mini games, but you can't play the board game online.
Interesting.
Yeah, either locally or with other players. In the online Mario-thon mode, players compete in 5 randomly selected mini games to get the highest score. So there are going to be leaderboards and a ranking system. But yeah, the actual board game you can't play online.
I really wonder why. That's interesting.
Yeah,
to me.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because you think the easier part would be doing the board game, and the mini games would be harder to be, synchronized and everything.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if that'll be something that implement later in the game, because they are doing a lot of changes to tennis. So, Mario Tennis. So yeah, October 5th, you got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Super Mario Party. Odyssey takes place in Greece, which is really cool. You can do 2 different characters as the male-female variant. Kind of similar to
Syndicate.
Thank you, Syndicate. The 2 different characters that'll also be in this one. It looks like kind of the sequel to Origins with gameplay wise. It seems there's going to be more ship combat, which is something that we all are huge fans of. Assassin's Creed Origins is considered probably one of the best Assassin's Creed games, and none of us really played it. I have yet to get to it, so I'll be interested to see how Odyssey does, if it's going to be very well received, because we're not going to get another Assassin's Creed next year.
Right, yeah, they're taking another year off.
October 9th, Disgaea 1 Complete, WWE 2K19, if you're interested in those. But 12th, you got a new Luigi's Mansion.
No, I don't think it's new. I think it's an updated version.
Oh yeah, 2001 adventure game. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's coming to the 3DS. That would be something your kids might like, Dan.
Yeah, I've played a little Luigi's Mansion.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
You gotta mention Blops 4.
Yep, COD
Same
Blobs.
day. I'll be honest, I could care less about it.
Yeah.
Then you got, that got delayed, which will be a nibble bit. October 19th, Dark Souls Remastered for the Switch, Soul Calibur 6 also coming out. 23rd, Just Dance 2019. And the 26th, you got Red Dead Redemption 2. I know Corey's really bummed that he won't be able to play it on my PlayStation. So, and you know what? It's weird. I'm the one person on the planet that doesn't care about Red Dead, so
yeah.
So I'm whatever about. I'm ambivalent about Red Dead Redemption 2.
I'm interested, but if it was coming to PC, I would play it. But it's not, as far as I know, for now. I mean, they're probably going to drag it out. They'll release the PC version like next year, sometime after sales have kind of slowed down on Red Dead.
Yeah,
because
make more money.
Yeah, that's how they roll over there.
Evil geniuses.
Yep.
As much as I dislike their games, they are smart with how they roll out everything. So, but yeah, that's most of that's all of October.
I had one more thing I wanted to cover, and only because this kind of interests me. It's Starlink Battle for Atlas. It's another one of the Toys to Life games that you buy the pieces for the spaceships and the pilots and stuff. The Nintendo Switch version has a Star Fox tie-in. It comes with the R-Wing and I believe like Fox McCloud in the actual Nintendo Switch version. The game looks really interesting to me. I've always wanted like a space kind of. I'm interested in the space like piloting RPGs. It seems like a light version of that sort of thing, but it's really cool. It's got the atmospheric flight. A few things similar to No Man's Sky, like I think it takes place in like one solar system maybe. I was trying to watch videos of it, and there wasn't a ton of information out about the actual game. It was mostly about the toys that you use. But yeah, it looks interesting. It's one I'm going to keep an eye out for. I'll see how reviews are. If it reviews well, I'll get the Nintendo Switch version for it.
Yep. Looks like the fun version of the space piloting games.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, on to November. So November 6th, we have Overkill's The Walking Dead for PC, developed by Overkill. It's the co-op first-person shooter with characters Maya, Aiden, Grant, and Heather, each with their own unique skills and abilities. So the players work together to complete objectives. It's set in DC and will have stealth, survival horror, and RPG elements. So I don't think that one looks very good. I feel like I saw a lot of people complaining about that one.
Last time they released a first-person shooter Walking Dead game, it was not well liked.
Okay, so this might be something different then. But either way, it doesn't sound like anything to me. It sounds like Left 4 Dead, but with some RPG elements, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But a poor man. You know what? This reminds me almost exactly of the one they released of like 5 years back.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one was poor, right?
Yeah.
Real poor. Next on the list is The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3, Broken Toys. So that's for PC, PS4, Xbox One. I haven't cared about The Walking Dead in a very long time. I played the first season of The Walking Dead, and it was really good. I just lost interest after that. And as far as the television show, I watched the first 5 episodes. I never watched the season finale of the first season, and I haven't seen it since then, so can't comment.
Show's a massive hit. A lot of people really, really love it.
Yeah.
So, and I think Corey and I played season 2, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might have played 3. I played up to 2.
Okay.
So, they were all good, you know. I just you fall out of love with that game. Now Life is Strange kind of fills that void.
Yeah.
For the style of game
I think
for me.
it's generally better. From what I hear, the best Telltale game is Tales from the Borderlands.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yep.
I feel like they do a good job being able to string the humor of Borderlands to
the Telltale formula.
That style of game.
Mm-hmm. November 13th, I'm sorry. A game I didn't even know existed, Hitman 2.
Yeah, that got announced, and I think we all missed it.
Yeah, I know the developer left Square Enix. So it's for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, developed by EO Interactive and published by Warner Brothers Interactive. So I don't know if they're independent now or if they're a part of Warner Brothers Interactive. But it's got similar gameplay to the predecessor. Agent 47 embarks on a mission to hunt the mysterious Shadow Client and disassemble his militia. So I think it's more the same there. I never played that game, but everyone that I know that did play it really liked it. So
yeah, it was one of those like sleeper hits of the year that it came out. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I know people were sour on the episodic type of formula of it, but I think altogether it was pretty good game. So
yeah.
Next on the list, also on November 13th, is the Spyro Reignited trilogy for PS4 and Xbox One. There's rumors to be a PC and a Nintendo Switch version, but nothing's been confirmed yet, so I've got my fingers crossed for that. Developed by Toys for Bob and published by Activision, so it's remastered versions of the first 3 Spyro games, which are Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon.
You'll get the PC and Switch port. It's just when.
Yeah, I figure it's going to come later, maybe early next year.
I think they'll follow the same as Crash Bandicoot did. I think that's how it'll work.
I think you're right. It may even come to PC before it comes to Switch, but there's been leaks everywhere that they're coming to those platforms. Just hasn't been announced or confirmed yet. So
this game looks awesome. I am a huge fan of all of the work they've done. I know people, for every reason, people super care about some of the changes, like the graphical, but of course the graphics are going to change a ton, porting it from a PlayStation 1 to a modern console.
Yeah, it's a remastered version, you know, it's not the original version. It's not supposed to be, so.
Yep. So I'm pumped for this. I've been following every bit of gameplay that comes out from it since it got announced. So this is honestly one of the games I'm most excited for. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it also. November 14th, Fallout 76 for PC, PS4, Xbox One, developed by Bethesda Game Studios and published by Bethesda GameWorks. So this is the online action RPG first-person shooter. Follows Vault 76, which was the first vault to open. Is in the Fallout lore, the first one to open after the nuclear holocaust. So it's basically opening up into the Wild West of West Virginia. It's online, kind of co-op, competitive, world building game. Like it's a little bit hard to explain, but you go out into the world and the characters that you interact with in the world are actually other characters. It doesn't seem like there's going to be many, if any, NPCs. It's all going to be other characters. So there's building elements. At least at first, the servers are going to be only public, but they hinted that there will also be private servers at some point after launch. So
perfect. So by the time it comes to Steam, I can get private servers.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember that, because I forgot. It is not coming to Steam initially. It will be on the Bethesda game client. So,
they really took away any excitement I had for this game.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, Green Man Gaming might not have discounts and stuff. I haven't checked in a while, but I wonder if I guess I could look now. But yeah, I don't know if the discounts are going to be the same because it's not on Steam. Who knows? It's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of was coming around on Bethesda from E3, but now I'm going back to where I was with them.
Yeah, I'm with you. So November 16th, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee for Nintendo Switch. Developed by Game Freak, published by Nintendo. It is the Kanto region with all 151 original Pokemon. And then it's got the ones from the Alolan region.
Apparently.
It's got those in it too, which is confusing. So.
Yeah, they're doing the Mega Evolutions are in this too, so that they're doing some interesting things with this game.
Yeah. If you look at it, it looks like a more modern version of like the old style Pokemon games, with a few updates. Obviously, the graphics look nicer. The battle system is a little bit more like Pokemon Go than the old school battle system, and the Pokemon are actually like on screen. The wild Pokemon, they're not gonna. It's not random encounters like the old Pokemon games. They're actually there, and you walk up to them to try to catch them. It also, there's an available Pokeball peripheral that you can use to catch the Pokemon. It looks like a Pokeball with a little thumbstick on top. I don't know how exactly it works, but I think you might like throw it. But it's also got, like I said, a little thumbstick on it. This one will also have co-op. It seems like it's drop in and out co-op. So cool stuff.
Yeah, so I said at the top of the episode that Spyro and Smash Brothers are the definites I'm getting. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee might be the dark horse for the one that I impulse buy.
Okay.
So, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I am very interested to see how these games do. I kind of know these are just kind of like placeholders for the next game. I'm not too worried about the next game and what they're going to do with that. I don't think they're going to make it too casual. I think this is literally just for them experiencing with some tech for the new Pokemon games, get it out there, see what people think, and put up a children's game out there. Really,
Yeah, they did specify that this was not the core Pokemon RPG that they had talked about before. This is, like Will said, kind of like an in between, I guess, to tide over the Pokemon appetites, because there's not going to be a 3DS Pokemon coming out this year, right?
Nope.
So this is probably the placeholder for that, and then next year will be the core RPG, from what I gather.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out late 2019. So
okay, it'll be a fall release next year.
Kind of as we all expected, really. I mean,
yeah, not surprised.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. I don't plan to buy it as of right now, but I could impulse buy it. So
yeah, that's one I definitely want to get. Same as you will. I don't funds are going to be tight, so I'm not sure I'll get as much as I can, but it's on my list.
Yep.
November 27th, Darksiders 3 for PC, PS4, Xbox One. I have no experience with the series, so I don't know anything about it, but it's a big release. So it's developed by Gunfire Games and published by THQ Nordic. It's an action-adventure game where players control Fury, who is the sister of War and Death. Apparently this one's a little more open world than the other ones. There's a little more problem-solving and puzzle-type things in it than previous games. I keep putting the Darksiders 1 and or 2 on my for in February, and it's never gotten picked. But I would like to play these games at some point because they're pretty well thought of. So someday.
It's funny that you led with what you led with this game because I was about to ask you right after you gave your what you're gonna say about it. I was like, do you know a single thing about this game?
I don't, and I've tried to watch videos on the new one, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I don't know what's happening. I know it's like an action game, but yeah, that's about it.
Honestly, that's kind of this game has just always been one that I see, but I've never attempted to even play it, and I don't know why.
Yeah, nor I.
It's hack and slash. That's up my alley too. So,
November 28th, Artifact. Excuse me. For PC, Mac, and Linux, and then later on Android and iOS. So it's developed and published by Valve. It's their digital collectible card game. This is another one I tried to read up on and figure out, but not having a good mind for the collectible card games. I only very briefly played Hearthstone. I know Magic a little bit, but not well enough to be able to figure out other games systems. So none of it made any sense to me. But it's Valve's collectible card game. I do think it's kind of based on Dota, from what I gather. So okay. That's a tie-in, I guess, from something else. But yeah, Artifact. Probably won't play it.
Yeah, same with me. Unless this looks really awesome, I probably won't get it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's free, I might play it for like a week, and then I'll move on, like I do with a lot of other things. All right, Will. December. Finish her off.
So yeah, Just Cause 4, leading it off with December 4th release date. This game, a pretty quick turnaround from Just Cause 3. So we just got from Geeks Brew Shrew. He said Artifact won't be free to start. So.
Okay, so there's a fee.
So that kind of, unless this game is awesome, I probably won't get it then.
Yeah, I can't keep up with the meta and stuff. It's something. It's one of those games you have to play all the time, unless they have figured out a way to combat that. But I just can't devote that much time to something like that. I would like to see it in action though, because like you said, if it may be awesome and it may be the collectible card game that people are playing.
Elder Scrolls Legend, or is that what that is?
Elder Scrolls Legends. There's Gwent too, as the standalone.
Yeah. Hearthstone. I just can't do it with all of them. But yeah, Just Cause 4 coming out December 14th. This is being developed by Avalanche Studios, published by Square Enix. Synopsis of the game: it takes place in a fictional country in South America called Solis. The protagonist, Rico Rodriguez, takes on the reoccurring paramilitary group, the Black Hand, run by a woman named Gabriella. The Just Cause games are you just blow stuff up and have fun. That's really all these games are. I couldn't tell you a single thing about the story because I haven't actually played any of them.
You know what it is? It's a third-person Far Cry.
Yep.
With not as much story.
That's a great explanation for it, Dan. I mean, these games are meant for you to. It's a playground for you to kind of have fun in, a big map. It's just a lot of fun. So, did you know that Just Cause 3 came out in 2015?
I didn't realize it was that recently. No.
Well, I actually thought it came out in like 17, and I was like, wow, we're getting another one already.
Yeah.
But 3 years ago, it's kind of surprising to me.
I did play 2, and I really enjoyed it. Like you said, for what it was, it's a mayhem simulator, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't end up finishing it because I started running into a lot of graphical issues. It was a game I played for 4 in February, and that year that game caused me to not finish because I kept crashing. It kept crashing on me, and I couldn't finish because of it. I couldn't get any further than a certain point where it would not consistently crash, or not crash in the exact same moment, but it was consistent enough that I couldn't play for more than like half an hour without the game fully wiping out and losing progress.
I forgot that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
So you have a vendetta against Just Cause.
I mean, I still like it. I wanted to play Just Cause 3 when it came out. I just didn't get around to it. And Just Cause 4 looks interesting. But I don't know. I probably won't pick it up.
So I got the third one on the summer sale for I think it was seriously like $5.
Oh,
so
maybe I'll have to play yours then.
Yeah, so actually what I'm thinking is once I kind of get through things and because I'm obviously not buying as much, maybe I go back and play these older games, maybe this will be one, and then it might pique my interest for the fourth one, because I kind of feel like you can pick up any of these games and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely.
You're pretty much just getting the better version of gameplay as opposed like the story doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So there's that. There's these Persona dancing games that are coming out the same day, the 4th of PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess they sell well. So there's that.
Rhythm games.
Yeah, rhythm games not our strong point, so we really don't cover them too much. December 18th, the 4th episode of The Walking Dead, the final season. Not much to say for that one. If you're playing the other ones, you're gonna play this one.
Mm-hmm.
But the one and only game coming out in December the 7th, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo. Really excited for it. I kind of, since this is the Ultimate, and they're really going above and beyond. Over 100 stages. They're bringing back every single character, announcing new characters. What else are they doing? They're bringing in characters that fans really wanted, Waluigi excluded. King K. Rool has been a character that the fans wanted forever. They put him in there. They wrote him a thank you, Sakurai. They wrote Sakurai a thank you letter. They're so happy. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see what else he has up his sleeve. Another highly requested character is Geno from the Super Mario RPG. I wonder if Geno gets in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm honestly very fascinated to see what's coming for this game, because I think this is going to be a huge game. It's so big that we're all going to Corey's for its release date for the weekend to play it together. So
yep, Eric is even flying up so we can all play it.
Eric, who hates video games now, is flying up to play this game.
Flying up to play Smash. I'm driving up from here, as are you, Will. So
yes, as soon as school's done, I'm leaving and heading up. Yep. If I have nothing going on, I might be able to even leave on Friday or morning, So, I'm really excited. Every time there's more info that comes out about it, I get giddy. I'm honestly loving everything about this game, how it's playing, the new models for a lot of the characters. I'm already formulating who I'm going to play as in this game. So my top 5. So I'm excited. Very excited. I'm going to destroy all of you at Corey's.
You definitely will beat me. I was not very good at Smash, but it's still fun. I also feel like I need to play with the GameCube controller.
Yep, I was actually going to say, if anybody has GameCube controllers, like you, Eric, Corey, get them, because I think I only have 2.
Yeah.
So
I might get the bundle with one if I can.
Okay. And my friend Evan has a GameCube controller, so if he's not getting a Switch, which as of right now he's not for this game, I might be able to get another one, so I'd have 3. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm pumped. I can't wait to. I really want to beat Corey and Eric.
Oh yeah.
More, Dan. It's nothing against you.
Oh no, I understand.
They talk more smack, so.
Yeah, I said as long as we get some Mario Kart in, so I can win something.
Yeah,
I'll be happy.
Yeah, you would dominate us. So. But yeah, that's really it for December. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming out the 20th, but that's another one that's not really up my alley. So, yeah, that's really it.
Okay. All right, well, let's get into Nibble Bits, shall we?
Yar.
Okay, let's see what I have here. Cyberpunk, which I'll talk about.
Do you want me to say a release date that got pushed real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Battlefield 5 coming out November 20th. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that got pushed from October to November today. So.
Oh, I was gonna say because I took my notes and it wasn't on the thing. That's why.
Yep,
that would be why.
That's what happened. Apparently, rumor has it that the Battle Royale is going to be free, which blew my mind that it was under consideration of not being included in the game for free, but whatever. But also a Bad Company 2 remaster.
Oh, cool.
And Bad Company 2 was my favorite Battlefield. So if that's true, that's awesome. So
nice.
Yeah,
I get as it turns out, I only have one Nibble Bit. I thought I had a few, but I only have one.
Dan.
And that's it's about the new Xbox All Access program, which we found out about last week, and I wanted to talk about it last week, but I never ended up talking about it. So what it is basically a subscription, almost like getting a cell phone. So you go to Microsoft Store, you get a subscription that comes with either an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X, and also Xbox Live Gold for 2 years and Game Pass for 2 years. So the Xbox One bundle will cost roughly $35 a month, and at the end of that, you get to keep the hardware, which is cool. It ends up being roughly $860 for a person, and then the Xbox One S bundle is $22 a month. It ends up being $130 cheaper than if you were to buy everything outright and pay for the services.
Okay.
So very interesting. It's honestly tempting for me. I probably won't, only because we don't have it's got to be done at a Microsoft store, and we don't have one of those around here. Syracuse is the closest one, and I just don't have free time to drive up to Syracuse to get an Xbox. So
yeah,
but I like that they're doing that. It's not as much as I would have thought, and it's basically a system for $35 a month. There's zero interest or anything like that. So
that's kind of crazy to me, actually. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was a fair deal. All right, Will. Anything for Nibble Bits?
Yeah, 2 more actually.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a standalone expansion to Subnautica. It's called Below Zero. It's heading to early access in the coming months. Looks really cool. Instead of being tropical islands, you're in glacier area.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, that's my biome really that I love.
Jam.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in this. So it'll be coming out soon for early access. A lot of things will be changing with the game. It'll still have like the base building, but they're gonna play with a couple new things in the game. One of the things they said was the thermal management. So I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that you're gonna have to manage your heat. So
like Frostpunk.
Exactly. So that's what I'm assuming. I'm really excited for that. I'm going to definitely check that out. Subnautica is actually one of those games that people love, so it reviewed really well. Last but not least, and I kind of want your opinion on this one, the Cosmic Star Heroine developer alleges that Nintendo could have done more to promote the Switch port. So the owner of the company kind of went to Twitter and kind of complained that there was issues with the store page. You couldn't pre-order it. What was the other thing? They said that Nintendo was a little bit difficult with them with getting a Switch to be able to develop for. A whole bunch of things. To me, I think this game just went against hard competition. Like, I don't think it's Nintendo's job to, because what Nintendo does is when they are promoting these games, they're putting out games that are kind of genre gaps that they don't have on their platform. So that's why a lot of these different indie games are being promoted a lot more heavily than other ones. Mm-hmm. This game went up against the launch of Dead Cells, the new expansion for Hollow Knight, Into the Gungeon expansion, Okami HD, Salt and Sanctuary, so many other games. There's a couple others that came out. And then, why is it Nintendo's fault that they have to kind of, mess around with their rules to kind of accommodate an indie developer? You know what I mean?
I can't speak to. They may have been difficult to attain a development kit for. I don't know any of that. That I can't speak to. But I don't think it's Nintendo's job to heavily promote every indie game that goes in the store. There's plenty of other ones that don't get promoted heavily. I feel like Nintendo really only promotes the cream of the crop ones, like Hollow Knight, like Dead Cells. The 9s and 10s, and Cosmic Star Heroine I played briefly and I liked it, but it was nowhere near like the quality of those games. So
actually, this is the quote. I found it. But after spending months getting stonewalled by Nintendo, we were trying to get permission to get it released on the Switch. So he said, fine, we'll play by our rules by getting a publisher so we could get approved. That's Nintendo's policy, it seems like. Why do they breach protocol?
Yeah.
And give them an exception, Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like a frustrated creator kind of venting stress, which I get that. We all do that.
Yep.
It just sucks that it's on such a public platform.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to get, and, I do think there is some merit to his complaints to, maybe Nintendo is difficult. They are pushing a lot of indie games, so it's hard for them to take time. So I don't know. You know, it sucks. It's a bad situation, but that's kind of the biz.
Yeah. All right. How's your week, Will?
Before I get to the big thing that happened last night, a couple things I wanted to touch on. I've been doing cardio at the gym because I'm cutting weight again for a little bit before I go to Florida. So I have to do 20 minutes. So I'm like, well, listening to music for 20 minutes while doing cardio is kind of getting old. I listened to music the whole time. So I'm going to change it up. As a big Dragon Ball Z fan, I have only ever seen Dragon Ball Z in all of Super. And there are gaps in my Dragon Ball knowledge, original Dragon Ball and GT. So I thought to myself, you know, I'll start watching original Dragon Ball while I do the Stairmaster for 20 minutes. You know, it's about an episode, you know, skipping the intro and outro. So that's 20 minutes perfect. That's what I'll start doing. So I've been watching the original Dragon Ball.
Nice.
And Dan, if you ever show your kids Dragon Ball, show them Z. Don't show them original.
Oh, okay.
It is not age appropriate.
See, I've heard that from other places.
There is a scene with Goku. It's very early on, but he, you know, meets Bulma. He's laying in bed with Bulma, and he lays his head in between her legs, and he's frightened because she has no balls. So he starts patting her where they would be, and he freaks out. So he removes her underwear.
What? That's crazy.
And then, like, he leaves it on the ground. They meet Roshi. She flashes Roshi for a reason I won't even get into. But she didn't realize that Goku had taken it off her underwear. And she's like, "Where's my underwear?" And Goku goes, "Oh, I took it off you last night when I noticed you didn't have balls." So Goku's like running gag so far, has been patting people on the crotch area to see if they're male or female.
Wow. That's interesting.
It's like watching Z, like, you know, there are some moments of, you know, innuendos, whatnot, but like... It's
nothing like that.
It's hilarious though. It's really funny. It's definitely worth the watch. It's like 150 some episodes, so that's how I'm gonna watch it, is when I'm doing cardio. So
nice.
I've been doing that. I want to give a brief update on Kai. I'm in the Boo saga right now. I just watched Vegeta kill himself by exploding. You know, I kind of going into this, I said the only way I would ever really watch Dragon Ball is the original series. And while that might be true, Kai does a lot really well, and I think people should watch Kai. I think it's probably the best way to actually watch it. The only time where I was extremely disappointed with a change was actually with Vegeta self-destructing. It's just some of the dialogue changes I didn't really like. But other than that, it's really well done. If you are interested, watch it. It's definitely worth it. But the most interesting thing that happened last night, Dan, you got a little bit of this story.
Yes, I did.
I'm laying in bed, about to fall asleep. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and I notice I have my air conditioner in, my window shade pulled all the way down, so you can't really see much. But I noticed this bright orange hue coming from outside, and I'm like, what is that? And usually I wouldn't care. I would just like, whatever. It's probably the neighbor being stupid. Well, for no reason, I got up. I pull the shade and I look. This guy's barn is literally 3 stories tall, on fire, just completely engulfed in flames. And I'm like, oh my god. So I sprint downstairs and look out our big window in our front, and our dad was sleeping there. And I looked and I saw it again. And I was like, Dad, you need to get up. Our neighbor's barn is engulfed in flames. And he's like, what? So I sprint upstairs and I put on the rest of my clothes and I go bust into my mom's room. I'm like, Mom, the barn's on fire. And she's like, what? And I'm like, the neighbor's barn is on fire. Get up. It's really bad. I get out there and I see the family pulling the animals and the kids from the house and like running kind of to where our yard is. And I looked, and I kid you not, you saw the picture. Like, it didn't do it justice to how intense the flames were and how tall it was. And like, it was crazy. And the fire department gave the answer of, we're sending somebody when we can send somebody. So like, they called, our mom called twice and like, you need to get people here. It was 20 minutes, Dan, before the fire department got there. And while I'll give them a little bit of slack because they were coming from Maine, Owego. So, you know, they have to get the people there and then get the fire trucks there. So I get it, you know, it's not convenient.
What about the Newark Valley Fire Department? Where were they? Were they on a call?
They weren't on call, so they had to get the people there.
Oh, gotcha.
They were coming from different spots to meet up at the fire station. You know, there was but it was insane, Dan. Like the siding on the house melted.
It was all
so
melted,
like
and parts of their cars melted, and yeah,
yeah.
it was really bad because we drove by there today because we were in there because my wife had to pick up her paycheck from the school, and yeah, it was crazy bad.
And like the whole Wig Street, which is the street we live on, was everybody was out and was just like in disbelief because we were really lucky it had poured for maybe like an hour yesterday, because if it was dry like it was earlier, man, it would have been bad because that house would have caught on fire 100%. And then like with the trees being dry, like that would have caught fire. It would have went to the lines, by our houses. Who knows? Like it could have came across the street, like, and go to like our house. I was actually a little bit worried. Like I would, checked where the cats were just in case like it got out of hand, because it was over 20 minutes before anybody got there to start putting it out. Like, like I said, if it was dry, like it would have caught fire. It was funny. Like I had Summer's car in our front yard, and I was sitting there and I was like, what if her car exploded from this fire?
Yeah.
And I have to explain that.
Yeah.
So like I pull that around and I'm like getting it out of there. Like it was something. Like I was watching it in disbelief, and like I haven't experienced a fire like that. Just like the intended. It's scary. I give firefighters a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean that was early in the year when we a house down the street from us burned right to the ground. It was the same thing. It was crazy how big the flames were in the house, and it went up like a tinderbox.
Yeah, and like when you sent that picture, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But like I never had a concept of just how
pictures don't do it justice either. Like the pictures that I sent you, like it's small. When you see the flames actually like shooting out of the windows and the roof on fire, like it's scary,
Yeah. And things were exploding in that barn because they God knows what they do, because they're not the greatest people, but things are exploding in there, and I'm like, is something like, is there gonna be like an explosion where flames get shot out? Like what is going on? It was the craziest thing. Like I actually talked to one of the news people about it. He was asking me for information. One of my friends texted me saying, what is going on? Because he was coming he was coming home, and he got redirected, and then he said it was like the apocalypse because everybody on Wig Street is like sprinting. He's looking around, he's like, what is this? So he texted me about it, so I told him, and then he came over and we watched the blaze for a bit.
Yep, that's the same exact thing happened to me. One of my friends was driving home from work and saw the flames like just a little bit down the street from us from the highway. It's like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a front row seat.
I actually was on the porch, like sitting, like the three of us, me, my mom, and dad, were all sitting there watching it, and it was one of those things where it's just like I was in awe of it. And it was like of how cool it was, but also how scary it was, because you really like have no idea what's gonna happen. They were lucky nobody got hurt. They pulled all the animals, which surprised me because they have like a whole wildlife assortment over there. So I was actually surprised that not the chickens, the turkeys that they have. Yes, I live in the country, for people that are listening. It was insane. Like it's one of those things that I might never forget because I've never experienced something like that.
Yeah.
Our mom, Dan, took like an 18-minute video and emailed it to the news station.
Oh, nice. Good.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna do anything with it. I'm fascinated to find out what started it, because I have a lot of ideas of what happened.
Yeah, like you said, kind of unsavory characters over there.
I'm thinking one of three things: meth lab.
That's common.
2, up here, it's very common, sadly. 2, they work on cars a lot. Maybe they were welding, something caught fire, total accident. Or 3, did it on purpose. Arson for insurance. That's another thing that happens. But I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, if they did that on purpose to start that, man, you know how bad that could have gone? Especially because the fire department didn't get here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like that could have ruined a lot of people's lives that night. So if that's the case, man, I really hope they get locked up.
Yeah, they will. They don't mess around with that, and they have ways of finding out. So I actually today, because I had to stop at our parents' house briefly, when I was there, like a white white sedan pulled up, and a couple like official looking guys got out and were talking to the people. I don't know if they were insurance people or if they were investigators or what, but they were talking to them and asking them questions about it. So be interested to find out, because actually not far from me, 2 nights ago, a house burned down because a meth lab blew up.
Oh my God!
Burned the whole house down. It's like 2 minutes from here. So
that's middle of town too.
Yep.
Like Endwell is way more active than Newark.
You know where it was? Is right by the Broadway Diner, right near there, right on that street behind Broadway.
Broadway's okay, right?
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Good. So this happened at 11 o'clock at night. I was probably on the porch until about 1. Dad went in maybe at like midnight ish, 12:30. Me and Mom stayed out until 1, but it was insane. As I said, really cool and really scary at the same time, because you have no idea what's going to happen. So I was glad you were up to, because I sent that picture and I was saying, I really hope Dan, Corey, or Eric are up. Really hope so.
Yeah.
So I guess Allison watched the live stream of the reporter.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so they did it right in front of our house. So like me, Mom, Dad were all just in it the whole time, and like you could see our mailbox, like our whole house, like
walking around in the background.
Yeah, like I was like, Mom was in a robe.
Yep.
Like everybody was just like in there, just wearing shirtless, like boxers. Like it was quite the scene.
Yes, because it is also Newark Valley.
Newark Valley, it's midnight. Like, these people are quite the characters who have caused a lot of issues. So like everybody wants to see what's going on. So, it was the most interesting night I've had in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's really it for me. I sold my PlayStation. That sucks. It hurt, but
yeah,
had to do it.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Yeah, I had a lot this week.
Okay, I only have a couple quick things. The first is that as me and my wife played Final Fantasy 3 for this week's rookie camp, so you can watch that on our YouTube channel. I don't know if it's youtube.com/thumbstickathletes, but just search for Thumbstick Athletes or Rookie Camp Final Fantasy 3 on YouTube if you want to find it. It should be the first search or first result on there. Will, did you want to talk about the Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah,
48 minute gameplay demo. So they
did.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what'd you think?
I thought it was awesome. I need to play the game immediately. So they did like almost like what Bethesda did to announce Fallout 76. They had the live stream go live with a bunch of random stuff on the screen for hours, and then people watched it with nothing on it really for hours, and then they had the 48-minute gameplay video of Cyberpunk 2077. They showed a lot of different things. They showed the character creator a little bit. They showed some combat, some choices you can go through. I don't know. I thought the game looked amazing. I can't wait to play it. I'm not going to get too much into the details. You just have to watch the video for yourself. But what did you think, Will?
I thought it was really cool. I didn't play The Witcher, but this game is just so different from The Witcher that's not even like, how you can get a feel for a certain studio style of game.
Yeah.
By like they transition from game to game, like you can kind of see like, oh, I see that same similar whatever that gameplay style, but it was so different, like from The Witcher, that the sci-fi aspect of it very really interested me, because it just seemed so, I don't know what the word I'm looking for to describe it, but it just seems so. It seemed more real than the real world.
Yeah, I could totally get that.
It's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, it just was more real than my own surroundings, it felt like, while I was watching that. Like, they did a really good job being able to immerse you in the gameplay, and that was just from 40 minutes of it. So, like, I can't imagine a 100-hour RPG that they're going to end up pumping out, so.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to play up the choices aspect, too, like how you could go through each activity a multitude of different ways depending on your character's strengths and weaknesses or their relationship with other characters. So I'll be interested to see how all that stuff plays out, because a lot of times that sounds better than it ends up being. But I have faith in CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looked so good. I can't wait for it.
I am very pumped for this game next year, right?
I don't think they gave a time frame, but the game is apparently playable from beginning to end. At this point,
so probably next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping next year. It seems like it. So they're still working on some things, but
my goal, Dan, for next year is to have a PC that can play this game in its infinite glory.
Yeah, I agree. And the PC that they played it on, it was an i7 8700K processor. It was a 16 gigabytes of RAM. It was the new M2 PCI solid state drives, and then 2 GTX 1080 Ti's. So it's not unreasonable machine by any stretch.
How much do you think that is?
That PC, I think they said that PC would cost you like $1,900. Geek Bear Shoes asking if there's going to be multiplayer. I don't believe so. And I think if there is multiplayer, it would be some sort of weird, not like multiplayer. It would be some like almost like a message system. I don't think that's going to be multiplayer. I think they did say it's going to be a single player RPG, but they might have some sort of tie-in to multiplayer. So, not sure though. Nothing's set in stone yet, I don't think. But yeah, the PC that they played it on wasn't outrageous. It's something you could buy all the parts for and have now, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, because that game looked incredible, and I feel like a console won't do it justice. It's the first time that I've ever looked at a game and said, I don't think a console can do this justice. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, I mean, no console can match an i7 8700K, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 2 GTX 1080 Ti's,
Yep.
I don't know what resolution it was supposed to be played in. I don't know if that was 4K or if that was 1080p or 1440p. I don't know. I don't know that information's come out yet, but I would think 1080p or no, 1440p.
Well, by the time this game actually comes out, that computer goes down in price, right?
Yeah, definitely. There'll be the next generation of Intel processors, and the new graphics cards from NVIDIA are supposed to come out pretty soon. Maybe they're already out. The 280 and 280 Ti, 270, 2070.
So what you're saying is instead of 1900, it can possibly get to 15?
Yeah, maybe. It depends.
Cool. That makes me a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's quite something. Definitely check it out if you haven't, because it looks awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm giddy. I don't get giddy often about games anymore, but I'm giddy about Cyberpunk.
Same here.
Yeah. I think the only other thing, for those interested, I'm still doing the 1 meal a day diet. Still really thrilled with it. 16 pounds down. And fairly easily too. Like yesterday, I didn't eat that well at my one meal because we ate at my parents' house. We had sloppy joes, and I had chips and a bunch of random other crap, and I still lost a little bit of weight. So very happy with it so far.
Yeah, I actually think keep it up, Dan, because you do look great. I've noticed huge changes. But I actually saw you and your wife today driving by.
Oh yeah, we were going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I waved to Val. Yeah. But what I was gonna say is the benefit to doing that one meal is no matter kind of what you eat, you're only eating once. So it kind of, even though if you're not eating that well, your body's going through more work anyway because you're only eating once.
Yes. So there's a couple factors. There's something, and I can't remember the name of it. It's called is it autophagy? It's your cells rebuild more frequently when you're only eating one meal a day because they spend less time dealing with the food that you eat, so it repairs your body faster. Apparently, I've read that a few different places. I don't know. I'm not a dietitian or a biologist or anything like that. Human anatomy, not my thing. And I'm not even sure I got the name right. But that's apparently one of the benefits. But one of the other things too is if you only have an hour to eat, even if you ate the most calorically dense food you could possibly imagine, still like you only have an hour, you know. So even me, who has a famously huge appetite, like if I was to eat a whole pizza, what's that, like 2,500 calories?
It ranges, but yeah,
it depends. 2,500, 3,000 calories. Like my caloric intake, my resting caloric or average caloric burn for a day is like 3,200 calories. So I would still be at a little bit of a deficit, you know. And I've gotten to the point where, for the most part, I don't get hungry during the day. If I get a hunger pain, I just have something to drink or like a cup of coffee with some cream in it, and my hunger goes away in like 10 minutes. So
it's actually, Dan, I wanted to actually applaud you. Doing that big of a deficit that you do is very hard, and it's impressive that you've been able to like be fine, you know?
Yeah. So I'm, like I said, I'm supposed to get like 3,200. That's my resting, like normal metabolic rate, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I had my MyFitnessPal set up so that I was at what was it? 1,000 calories a day deficit.
Okay.
No, because I was supposed to get 1,800. It's supposed to burn 1.5 to 2 pounds a week.
Okay.
And for my 1 meal a day thing, I eat anyway. It depends on what I have, but anywhere from 1,200 to like 1,600 calories in a day. 1,200 being the low end. That's if I eat something like a huge meal that's not calorically dense food. But even then, if I have that, like I'll have a protein bar or like a shake afterwards just to get my calories up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't noticed myself being more tired. I still, do my exercises 5 or 6 days a week, so nothing too intensive, but just to keep the muscle mass up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
By the way, if you want any protein, just let me know.
Yeah, I probably will. At some
got
point.
A lot.
So yeah, it's working well. I'm pleased so far. So hopefully I can keep it up. We've got a couple of really bad weeks of eating over the next 2 weeks or so. So
birthdays.
Birthdays. I've got a football draft thing on Saturday. I've got a family birthday party on Sunday. Monday's Labor Day. My twin's birthday is next week. My wife's birthday is next week. My birthday is the week after. My twin's birthday party is not this weekend, but next weekend. So yeah, a lot of bad eating days in there.
But you know what? If you get back to it, you'll lose it that.
Yeah, I mean, and I plan on for the most part doing like just having my one, like even if it's bad, just still eat that 1 meal a day because that's kind of what I've gotten used to at this point.
Yeah, no, if you do that, you should be fine because, I mean, even if you gain a pound, that's nothing really.
I'll probably have like one cheat day. It'll probably be Monday, and we'll go from there. But
yeah. Good work,
stuff.
Dan. It's impressive.
Thanks.
All that work.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Do you?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you feel a lot better too?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that's mostly from exercising.
Yeah.
I don't feel like such a slug anymore. My back doesn't hurt all the time anymore. Yeah, it's just that's the biggest thing I've noticed is my back doesn't hurt anymore because it's nice to lay in bed and not feel like you're just oozing onto the bed, spreading out, like everything stays where it's supposed to. I still have a gut, but there's some muscle behind it. So
the hardest thing to lose is the gut.
Yeah,
that lower belly.
That's why I'm doing the diet too. So
yeah,
yeah, good stuff.
Before you know it, Dan, you'll have abs.
I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I would like to. That's the goal anyway.
If you keep working at it, take a low dosage of steroids, you'll be there.
HGH. Yeah, one thing I thought was interesting because before me and my wife got married, I did Weight Watchers and I lost a bunch of weight, and I got down to 195, which was my lowest weight in a long time. But I would, just out of curiosity, I would ask people how much they thought I weighed, and they're like, what do you weigh, like 150?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I weigh 190, 92 or 93 pounds or however much it was. So I think my body carries weight well.
Yeah.
Like right now, I just got under 250, but I don't think most people would guess I weigh 250 pounds.
I think we as a family do carry weight really well.
Yeah.
Because like now I started dieting because we went to Florida, and like I was pushing 200, and I'm at 187 right now. So like I've lost a good amount, but like a lot of people were like, when I would say I was fat, everyone was like, no, you're not, and I'd be like, no, like I'm pushing 200, like for my height, and it's just like I don't know. I've never wanted to be carrying at 200, but I think I'm getting to the point where I could. So
yeah, I think we're short, stocky builds too. So
yep,
thick legs.
Except Corey.
Corey's a little leaner than we are, definitely.
He's the lanky one.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna get into what we played. So I don't think I mentioned this at the top of the episode, but before we started recording the actual episode, I brought my wife on for what we played to talk about the games we played during rookie camp. So she picked her favorite games, not favorite, but best experiences, games she's most likely to play again, games she's least likely to play again. So I'm going to plug that in right here at the beginning of what we played, and then me and will continue after that. We're on a different video in the chat here, but I'll change that in just a second. So yeah, I'm gonna cut out our spot right here. I'll plug that in, and then me and we'll resume with what we played. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay.
We've got a lot this week.
Plug it in. Yeah. Yes, we do. Where did I save that?
Until this part, because I don't have too awful much. But
yeah, I don't either. Where is it? 371. There it is. Okay. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are back. So, Will, what did you play?
So, I've recently picked up Dragon Ball FighterZ again. I've just been... I don't know what it is, but Dragon Ball Z is it's my jam now. I never would have thought that last November that, rewatching the series would make me just obsessed with it as I am. So I started playing Dragon Ball FighterZ, and because Goku and Vegeta basic forms got released as DLC, so I kind of want to check them out, see what they're all about, how they play. They play differently than the other ones, which is cool. I know a lot of people don't like the base forms or DLC, but as long as they play different, whatever, it's fine with me. But they do, and that game, I'm pretty behind the 8-ball right now, so I get destroyed quite often, but that's all right. Like the game is so much fun because the auto combos, it makes it fulfilling, and because I'm so familiar with the canon of the series that like the moves that you pull off it's so cool to and rewarding to be able to do a Kamehameha with Gohan and Goku, or the Gallic Gun with Vegeta, so on and so forth. I've been using the team of Goku Black, Android 6 or Android 18, and then Teen Gohan when he beat Cell. That's the team that I roll with, so I've been having a lot of fun with that. I've been messing around with some other characters, trying to learn more of the moves. The only thing I don't really like about the game, and I think every fighting game suffers from this, is when you get pinned against the wall, it's brutal, because the auto combos, like in this game, because of the auto combos, you go a little bit longer without being active because you're getting pummeled. So like when you get pinned against the wall and you keep on getting auto comboed by people who are really good at the game, you kind of just you waste a character because they just hit you and hit you and hit you until you're dead. And if you know what you're doing, like you're gonna destroy the person. That's the only thing, and it's not something that I think is too incredibly valid because the simple solution is just get better at the game, take my lumps, get better.
Yep.
So that's kind of how
get good or uninstall.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Like I've just gotta learn to play with that and get better. And like I said, the reason why I'm playing again is Android 17 is coming out within the next month. So I want to play as him. He's my favorite character. So kind of want to get ready and start playing. Yeah, I love the game. It's great. I didn't play it for a couple months there, but I'm back and I'm really liking it. So that's that. I bet I should say I beat Therion's Chapter 4 and Octopath Traveler, shifting gears.
Nice.
That was a really good one.
Cool.
I gotta say, Primrose's Chapter 4 was my favorite because, man, that boss was something there to fight. It was really cool and well done how they did that. But Therion's is really good. Ophelia's was also really good. This game I think I have 76 hours in it. So
nice. This
is a game where if I don't beat everything, I put my time in with this one.
Yeah.
So
I think I have 50, 56, 57 hours into it at this point.
Yeah.
That's what I play. I haven't had much chance to play games, but that's for the most part what I play when I fire something up.
Octopath just another thing, Cosmic Star Heroine, going back to that article where the guy was complaining, that game's in the same sort of vein as Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Unless you're better than Octopath Traveler, Nintendo's not going to be like, oh, check this game out. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to push the game that they took a chance on, So, because Octopath Traveler, that game's amazing, and I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if people are complaining about the story not being interconnected.
Yeah.
The game's just so well done.
Yep.
So, love it. Big fan.
Agreed. Yeah, and Octopath Traveler, I'm still, like I said, currently playing. I'm doing just side missions. I'm trying to nail some of those out of the way because I kind of neglected them earlier in favor of just doing the story stuff, and then I would do occasionally some of them, but I'm starting to do more of the side missions, especially the ones that have numbers, because they lead to really good rewards when you complete them. So I'm kind of focusing on those more so than the other ones. I did visit all the cities though. I made a point to do that recently, so I could go everywhere and try to buy some of the best gear that you can buy, at least for now. And then I've been playing Reigns still a little bit on Android. I like that game. It's fun. I'll fire it up if I have 2 or 3 minutes, and for the most part, you go through a king's life in that time period. Some will last a little bit longer, but not by much. So that's an interesting game. I like the concept. Looking forward to the Game of Thrones version of it, though. Definitely.
That'll be up your alley.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, really. We kind of been slacking on the what we played aspect, but
yeah, it's a bad time because school's starting soon, so we're trying to get all that stuff hammered up. We're house hunting, house shopping, that sort of stuff too. It's been so busy, so
yeah. I'm so poor I can't really even do anything.
Yeah, so yeah, I hear you. Okay, so the first email is from DT Strike, who says, "Hey guys, DT back again. Happy to hear I won the game giveaway. I'll take Bastion. As far as where I live, I'm in Co-host, New York. Dan, glad to hear you played Legends of the Dragoon and beat it. Congrats. And I looked into the Grandia remasters, and they look great. But unfortunately, the one I mentioned is an import, so I don't know if we will see that one come to the Switch. I hope that it does. To me, that is the best JRPG I've ever played. Anyways, guys, thanks for the game and the podcast. DT over and out." Now, I actually did get caught up a few days ago on the back game giveaway game, so I sent DT Strike his Bastion. I sent Tate his game too, which was, I don't remember what it was, but I sent it to him. DT is in Co-hosts. Will, that's up near Albany. I'm not sure if you knew that.
I did not know. I was saying it to myself. I'm like, where is that? But
I've actually been to Co-hosts. I saw 2 Aquabats shows in Co-hosts at the same place, actually. Once with my friend Graham, and once with my wife. Wife and cousin Chris came to that one too. He kept meeting the Aquabat's bass player in the bathroom because we had eaten Taco Bell on the way there.
Oh.
And he was feeling a little ill, so he kept meeting the bass player in the bathroom, which is funny. But I can't for the life of me think of the name of the place. I should text my cousin; he might remember.
The venue.
Yeah, it was out in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't right in Cohoes. It was further out, and it was like a Wild West saloon. It had the like walkway up on top with the railing, and then down below was like where the bar and the tables were, and then the stage was like off to one side, and there was like nothing around it. It was just fields, but it reminded me of a Wild West saloon, and it was it looked like it hadn't been anything done to it since the Wild West. So maybe DT knows the place. That would be awesome. If it's even still there, I don't know. But
interesting. That's funny. The Aquabats played there too.
Yep. Twice. I feel like that was the same summer. Maybe not. Maybe it was 2 separate summers. But yeah. So that was DT Strikes feedback. The next was from Tate, who says, "Hey guys, some sad news. I canceled my pre-order of Life is Strange 2 after watching the trailer and reading reviews. Here's my reasoning. 1, I hate the fact that it isn't based in Arcadia Bay and doesn't involve the old characters. I felt like they had more of a story to tell with those characters, so that was a huge letdown for me. 2, I was intrigued that it was a story about brothers because I have 2 younger brothers, but when I realized it was starting the story off about a cop shooting a Mexican